We got some front lights, 6 Fresnels and 2 blinder. Then in the back truss, 8 LED bars with intensity red, green and blue, and also 6 moving lights. And another 4 moving lights as crowns, and another 4 moving lights as floors. And of course, a smoke machine. We said we're going to use 10 faders in this show. Let's take a look how we're going to assign the faders. The most important fader, of course, is the intensity for the front light. Then we got another intensity fader for the LED bars, another one for all the spots in the truss, and one for spots on the ground. Now we're going to make a fader for our color designs, another fader for the positions, an effect fader for all the moving lights hung in the truss, and another effect fader for the spots on the ground. Then here we got a speed fader. The speed fader will be assigned to the intensity of the LED bars, the spots and the other spots. And last not least, a fader to change the iris on the zoom. And here we're gonna use a crossfader. Okay, let's take a detailed look what we got inside these cue stacks. In the intensity for the front light, I would like to make 3 cues. The first cue is a full light on for the whole stage. The second cue will be more focused to the inside. And then we got another one who's doing the opposite, more focusing to the outside. Our LED bars, the first cue will be the full intensity. Then we're going to add a soft chase and a hard chase. Same we're going to do for our spots in the truss. And again, same thing for the spots on the ground. Now we're going to do 8 color designs. And for the positions, we're going to limit it to only 6 positions. The effects for the spot truss, there will be 3 different effects. A circle, a tilt sinus and a pan sinus. Same thing we're going to do for the spots on the ground. Same 3 effects, circle, tilt and pan sinus. Well, speed is a speed. This speed here. Now we're going to do 8 color designs. And for the positions, we're going to limit it to only 6 positions. The effects for the spot truss, there will be 3 different effects. A circle, a tilt sinus and a pan sinus. Same thing we're going to do for the spots on the ground. Same 3 effects, circle, tilt and pan sinus. Well, speed is a speed. This speed here will control the speed of the soft chase and the hard chase of all 3 executors. And last not least, on the 10th fader, there will be the iris and zoom, and we're going to make 2 cues and a crossfade, so we can crossfade from beam to wide. Executor buttons. We got 20 executor buttons. From these 20 buttons, we're only going to use 18. The first 4 will be for gobos. Then we got a gobo rotation for our truss moving lights and a gobo rotation for the ground moving lights. A prism for the truss and a prism for the ground. Here now we got 4 chases. The chases will be for the LED bars. A speed fader to control the speed of the chases. This will be a tap fader. A blinder, of course, as a flash button. Then we got a special executor. This will be a start button or a break button. This will contain a fixed image that we always can recall when we have to be fast, or if we need something static that will be the same all the time. Of course we need a fog machine, a strobe effect and a reset button. Okay, what I got here is a table, a visual table, how we're gonna configure our mixer. If you think about here this blue backlight, this will be the first executor. Here I will write down the content of the executor, or that means the cues. And we got 2 executor buttons assigned to the fader or to the skews. And I'm gonna write down here what the assignment is. So in our first fader or in our first cue stack, we got a front light, as we said before, with the front light, full front light, more in the center and more the outside. The first button assigned to this fader will be a simple go button, and the second fader will be a go back button. Second executor. Here we said we want to have the intensity of the LED lights, full intensity, a soft chase and a hard chase. The executor buttons will be a go button and a flash button. Same we're gonna do for the moving lights. Here we got our moving lights in the truss with a soft chase, a hard chase. The button will be a go button and a flash button. Exactly the same for the moving lights on the ground. Here are moving lights on the ground with a go button and a flash button. Let's go to our color design. We're gonna store 8 cues for the color design, and we need a go button and a go back button to be faster. Then we got our position cue stack, and it's the same as in the color design. We need a go button and a go back button. Here we got our first effects, and this cue stack for the effects will assign effects for these moving lights. We're gonna do a circle, a tilt effect and a pan effect. And the up refers for the upper moving lights. And as buttons we need a go button and a flash button. Same thing for the lower moving lights, I call them here down. We're gonna do our circle, tilt and pan, a go button and a flash button. Now it comes our speed button. Here we got a speed, and we're gonna assign the first executor button as a learn button to be able to tap the tempo. And the second button will be a reset button to reset to our standard tempo. Here we got an iris and zoom. There's a go button and there's a flash button. Actually we don't need the buttons, so we're gonna use the default assignment for the buttons. Here the special thing is that we're gonna use a crossfader to fade between the narrow position and the wide position. We are done with all our 10 executor faders with the 2 assignable buttons. And now I'm gonna choose 18, well actually here are 20, but we're only gonna use 18 executor buttons to start executors without faders. On the first 4 positions, we're gonna store some gobos. Here we're gonna store a gobo rotation and a prism. And these executors, at least in the dot 2, will be right above our moving lights in the truss. This means here we can control our moving lights, the intensity or the chases. And with these 2 buttons up, we can add a gobo rotation and a prism rotation for these moving lights. Same concept we're gonna do for the down moving lights, for the floors. We're gonna add a gobo rotation on an executor above and a prism. Now it's time for some chases. The chases will be LED chases. We're gonna do 4 chases. And next to it will be a button to tap the tempo of the 4 chases. Here's a fog machine, well, a strobe button and a blinder button as a flash button. Here's our thing called break. I called it before start. This will be a fixed image we can recall whenever we need it. And finally, our reset button. This reset button will reset all executors and turn down all volumes, or, well, it's not volumes, all executor faders to 0, except the front light. We can use this, for example, in a break of a song to reset everything and start programming or designing the next song from 0. Okay, we need some limitations. Well, a lot of times when you first do a show, you want to do this and add more effects and add more things. But then you will notice that you got a problem with, or at least I got a problem with memorizing things. So I'm gonna limitate myself, at least during the pre-preparation of the show. Later, during the show, I can add more effects or more color designs, whatever. But for starting, I want to limitate myself just because I can't simply memorize all the executors. Keep in mind that we now got 10 executor faders and 18 buttons. And a lot of the 10 executor faders get up to 8 cues. So I would like to limitate myself to only 6 position presets at the beginning. 8 color presets in white. It's for programming during the show. 3 gobos and open. 3 effects, as we said before, the circle, the sinus, the tilt sinus and the pan sinus. And only 8 color designs. One of the first things when we start programming is making groups. We need groups. A group of all our front lights. Then a group of our 2 blinders. Also I'm gonna make a smoke machine group. Well, the smoke machine only is one fixture, but I would like to have a group so I don't need to switch to the fixture view. Then a group of all our backlights. This means all moving lights and all LED bars. Another group with all our LED bars. And now we make groups out of the LED bars. Here's the typical even and odd group. Each of these rectangles is a fixture and the white ones are the fixtures selected. So we're gonna make an even group and an odd group. Then also with the LED bars, I would like to make 4 groups, always grouping 2 of the fixtures. I call them A, B, C, D. And the next group I'm gonna call group 1 and 2. Here I'm gonna do a symmetric look, but it's not this simple order. Then we need a group of all our moving lights. A group of all moving lights up. This means all moving lights hung in the truss. Another group of all our moving lights on the floor. I call them down. Then all our moving lights in the truss on the left. So I take the left half as a group. And the opposite, the right half as a group. And now I'm gonna divide the moving lights in parts of 3. I'm gonna create 3 different groups. You also could call them left, in and right. I call them 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. And now for our grounds, an in group, the inner moving lights and an out group. LED chases. I would like to make 4 LED chases. The first chase is a straight, normal, even and odd chase. Then we make a chase out of our groups A, C, B and D. And of the other group, a chase between the LED bar group 1 and 2. And here's a special thing, I'm gonna call it rock and roll chase. The rock and roll chase is actually nothing but this chase as an intensity chase, but I'm gonna assign the traditional colors red, green, blue and yellow. Color presets. We said that we're gonna limit ourselves to 8 colors. So let's do the primary colors, red, green and blue. Then some mixed colors, cyan, orange and yellow. And always nice is a pink and a purple. Color designs. There are a lot of different philosophies how to do color designs. I prefer working with only 2 colors in each design. And I'm gonna do an order from hot to cold. So the hottest possible is red, everything red. Then I would like to do 2 other warm designs. Now in the middle of our designs, something with green. Something crazy for psychedelic music or party music. It's a rainbow effect. That's the only design with a lot of colors. Then I go to the cold colors, or the blue ones, another cold one, and a full blue one.